it's Royal Klein. You're watching another movie of the week, and the movie this week was Open Your Eyes from 1997, so if you haven't watched it, watch it now. If you're new to the movie of the week, in 2024 we're doing like franchises, sequels, reboots, things of those elements. So this is Open Your Eyes, and then the next video we're going to do is Vanilla Sky, and we're going to compare and contrast them, but watch Open Your Eyes first. So, kind of getting into a little bit backstory, I watched this movie in Spanish class in high school, and that's kind of like how I discovered the movie, obviously. And it's one of those things where they like show the movie in Spanish with no English subtitles, so you're kind of like, what is happening? You're like, and this is already like a kind of confusing film itself. So like, imagine watching this in Spanish when it's like, yeah, we've been learning Spanish for a few years, but we have no idea what this movie's about, you know? Obviously like confused, but then I think like probably like, I don't know. I mean, I knew what happened, obviously, because then a few years later, I was like looking into like, during pandemic, I watched a lot of movies. So I was like looking into like Tom Cruise movies, and I was like, Vanilla Sky, I feel like I've seen this plot before. And then realized Vanilla Sky is like an English remake of the movie. So then I watched that. I think this is really the only two movies on my list that is like a remake. Like there are a few like kind of remakes where it's like totally, like a different, I guess, or no, I do have a few remakes, but this is like the only one that's like, it was made in Spanish. It was a Spanish film, Spain. And then because it was so good or did so well, or I don't know, whatever reason, they then made the English version a few years later. Like it was only a few years later. So obviously I kind of forgot a lot of things about this movie. I feel like this has been seen in like Beauty and the Beast or like whatever shows, like wasn't there that Beauty and the Beast show? I don't know, where it's like this beautiful man, he has fame and he's popularity, and then something happens to his face and now he's like a beast and no one wants him except this girl. Like, I don't know. Basically, yeah, it's like this movie about this guy who's kind of a bit of a player and like has a good life and like is rich, and like it seems like he's like in his early 20s, like his friend is still in college or what they call university, and he's not, maybe because he's rich. So yeah, he's like really, really young, which I think Vanilla Sky, like Tom Cruise is like late 30s. So it's like totally different. I mean, I have to watch that and compare and see whatever else. But yeah, he meets this girl, Penelope Cruz, Sophia, who also is in Vanilla Sky. So we'll talk about that. But he like feels like, he found something actually special. And then like, this other girl he's kind of seeing is upset and kind of a little bit crazy, so then she tries to kill him, and then that car accident ruins his face. And obviously like he not only does he not look himself, he's like acting not like himself, like he's kind of acting like his friend was, where he's like insecure and drunk. And I like really noticed that like when he was drunk, he was like, so like he was just like not confident in himself, like he was just so more confident like who he was and whatever, because of his, he's looking okay. And the girl doesn't want him, and then he kind of wakes up and like the girl finally wants him. And it's like, what? It's a little bit confusing. You're like, why does she finally want him? And then his face is fixed, but then he's like starting to see things, and he's starting to see his girl as the one that tried to kill him, this other girl. And so then he ends up killing her, and this whole like is, he's killed someone, despite even if it like was her, the other girl, like he killed someone. But he's on trial, and so he's in this facility because he's got a little crazy, and he's retelling this to a psychiatrist. And then he's like, I'm seeing these dreams, and then they go to a place, and then it's like, this is like kind of like the plot twist, because you're thinking like, something that, because I kind of forgot like the ending, or exactly like forgot it. And so it's something where you're like, okay, maybe like whatever they did to his face, like that procedure, like maybe that is like causing him to go a little bit crazy. But you discover that actually like he signed up for this thing that when he died, he would be frozen, and then when he's reawakened, like he would he's stuck in like a dream state a little bit, and so like that's what's happening, and then his dream's kind of not going right because like it's supposed to be like his face is fine, he's finally with Sophia and it's good, but then he's like starting to see other things, probably because he's still like underneath it all like kind of wanted this other woman, which in the scene when he murders her, you're like, okay, like he's still kind of going at it. So you're like, okay, maybe. But then it's actually discovered that, wait, what was I saying? When I first heard that, I was like, okay, maybe like he died in a car crash, and then because of what happened, he like made up that like his face was distorted, you know? But it actually was like, okay, no, it happened like when you were laying on the ground, and then like kind of like how we're like, okay, it's weird that like finally she wants him, like that's it, that's the dream. But in the real world, he like killed himself. Well, he signed up for the thing first and then he killed himself. So it's a little bit like plot twist, and I mean obviously then when he's like, my face is distorted, and the guy's like, no, your face is totally fine, you're like, well, clearly something's not up. And so it's like kind of clear like this is not a dream. The guy was kept being like, it's, or no, it was a dream. The guy's like, this is not a dream, don't kill yourself. But I think like it's like when you're like, okay, you understand this movie, you're like, okay, I understand the plot twist, I get it. It's kind of like, what is this movie trying to say? Like, because like it's kind of like he was a little like, you know, like he did get in the car with that girl, like, so it's kind of like he had what was coming to him, and he could have had more of a positive, better attitude. He just like completely changed who he was because his face changed. And so something where it's like what is this movie trying to say? And I'm like interested to rewatch the English version and see like how it compares and what they kept and what they didn't kept, and if like the message was a little bit different or whatever. I was looking at reviews in Letterboxd and people were like, it's a cool idea, but the execution wasn't there. I don't know if it necessarily was the execution. I just feel like it's a little bit confusing and a little all over the place and like, you know, whatever. And so it's, imagine watching this in Spanish when you have no English subtitles. So I mean obviously watching it with English subtitles, it's fine, like I understand it, but like imagine not having the English subtitles. But yeah, I'm just like trying to think like, what is this movie trying to say? Like, what is it for? I feel like, you know, and then like it is a good movie and it's definitely like a thriller and you're like, what is happening? And I think it was like something where there wasn't that idea for that time, and it was something where it's like, you know, with these plot twists, you have to be like, okay, like this guy signed up for this thing that when he died, he'd be frozen. But you can't reveal that till the end, and so you kind of have to work it backwards, and that kind of is what it is. But I'm excited to compare and contrast with the English version. So anyway, comment below your thoughts about Open Your Eyes, and then watch Vanilla Sky from 2001 for next week. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.